Good evening. My name is Rebecca Schulte. Today I'm here to tell you how you can beat airline prices that seem to constantly be fluctuating. Have you ever noticed when you go on to your web browser and you want to book a flight, how sometimes they'll want to charge you $2,000 versus $500? Well, today I'm here to tell you the reason why that is and how you can get around it. The reason why airlines do this is called dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is based on discriminatory factors that the airline uses to discriminate against you in order to get the most money out of you as possible based on demographics. These demographics include your location, your browser history, the type of device that you are using, your cache, and your location. Also, when on your location, they can use specific demographics based on Statistics Canada to group you and basically stereotype you into a type of person that you are and how much money you can spend. For example, I live in a small rural community in northern British Columbia. There are a lot of blue collar people here and less working professionals. So they might stereotype me as a blue collar person, even though I am a working professional, and therefore offer me a cheaper price based on my geographic location. A very important factor for you to know is what type of device you are using in order to conduct your search. So in order to prove this, I conducted an experiment. I own a Samsung Galaxy S20, and I also borrowed a very cheap computer from my university, which is a Dell computer. It probably cost $200. I went on to Air Canada's website in order to see how much they were going to charge me for a flight from Vancouver, BC to Honolulu, Hawaii. When I used my very expensive phone, which is a Samsung Galaxy S20, as I mentioned earlier, they wanted to charge me over $2,000. $2,000 for the flight, okay? For a round trip. When I did the search through the very cheap Dell computer that I borrowed from my university, they wanted to charge me $500. That is a $1,500 difference. That is huge. That is significant. And this is how we are going together we are going to beat those crazy dynamic prices, or rather discriminatory prices. So in order to get around this dynamic pricing, here are some things that you can do. First of all, get your hands on the cheapest device possible that you can use to conduct your search. If you don't have a cheap device and you tend to favor more expensive devices like myself with my phone, then I would recommend potentially borrowing a device from a friend or even going to your local library to conduct your airline ticket search. They will see that you are searching from your local library and may assume that you can't afford to buy a computer, and so they might offer you a cheaper price, even if you do have a laptop computer at home. Another thing that you can do is clear your browser history. If they look at your browser history and they see that you have been doing all kinds of shopping on Amazon, you just bought yourself an elliptical for like $2,000, they're like, oh, it's no big deal, we'll charge this person $5,000. No, if you clear your browser history and you also use a browser called DuckDuckGo, they can't track your browser history and your cache to discriminate against you. So clear your cache, clear your cookies. I can add a description below to another video as to how to do that. Another way that you can get around dynamic pricing is for you to turn off your location setting. As I mentioned earlier, the reason that you want to do this is because they discriminate against you and basically stereotype you on your location. So if you live in like West Vancouver, and where there are a bunch of mansions and stuff, and they track you in West Vancouver at an upscale restaurant, for example, they're going to charge you a lot more money than if you're somewhere in like a small rural community in northern BC. So if you turn off your location setting, they can't discriminate against you based on that. So the bottom line, and just to sum it all up, is A, get your hands on the cheapest device possible in order to conduct your search. B, turn off your location settings, and C, clear your cache and your browser history. And that way you can get around dynamic pricing. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next how to or did you know video.